Hello everyone. Let's talk about a beautiful drama today. It's been illustrated over here. A Matter of Husband by Ferenc Molnar. I believe you will enjoy listening to me for about 15 minutes. As you can see in this slide, Ferenc Molnar is a 19th century born Hungarian playwright, and he was Hungary's most celebrated and controversial writer. He aimed at entertaining people by transforming his experiences into works of art, particularly drama. During the World War II, he immigrated to the United States of America to escape persecution by his government because he was a leftist and he kept on writing about the social evils of his time. Molnar's plays continue to be relevant and performed all over the world. Okay, moving ahead. All right. Here I have made a pictorial illustration of the characters. The characters in this play are the famous actress, honest young woman. She is a wife to Alfred, who is husband. Altogether, there are three characters in the play. The play beautifully shows how an actress uses her acting skills to outwit a common lady in a real life situation. Okay, moving ahead. The setting of the play, the famous actress's drawing room. It got kind of, let's say, theater setting and themes. Definitely, the play is mainly about honesty versus deception. Okay, so we can see kind of comparison and contrast between honesty and deception. Honesty represented by one character, whereas deception represented by the another character. The play also shows the way smart and manipulative people taken advantage of the simplicity and gullibility of the innocent ones. This is the second theme of the play. We can even say that the play shows a beautiful difference between theater life, that is life of acting, and real life, that is the way people live in. Lies versus truth is the main concern here. Moving ahead. The plot of the play goes like this. The honest young woman has come to know that her husband has been in love with the famous actress. The honest young woman, as her name goes, is a naive woman. She is very simple, very docile. She is very honest to her husband. She wears simple clothes and, all right, she is a common housewife. When she comes to know that her husband has been in love with the famous actress, she decides to approach the famous actress and have an appointment with her. Okay, whether she is right or not, but she comes up with this idea. So she approaches the famous actress. The famous actress is surprised and shocked when the honest young woman goes on saying to her directly, "Give me my husband back." Yeah, it's kind of surprise for her, and she can't believe that the honest young woman has come to her home, let's say come to her drawing room, and asked her to give her husband back. Okay, the honest young woman says that her husband is a lawyer working for the theater manager or maybe the director. Alfred is his name. She goes on clarifying and she goes on adding that her husband might have written even the contract paper of the famous actress. So the famous actress, first of all, says that she doesn't know any man by that name, and she also shows some kind of anger on being immediately asked that way, give her husband back. Now, moving ahead, the earnest young woman, she doubts that her husband is not taking good care of her recently because he's having this extramarital affair with the famous actress. Further, she goes on saying that she has got some proof to, let's say, blame these two people because she has found from a florist that her husband has been sending bouquets of flowers to the famous actress quite regularly, at least twice a week. Likewise, she has also found a love letter, a passionate love letter from the coat pocket of her husband, And in the love letter, her man addresses the famous actress, asking her for her apology for not being able to see her that night in the theater. Part of this statement reads like this: 1,000 apologies, 10,000 kisses. Definitely a kind of passionate love letter that her husband has written addressing the famous actress. This like proof she presents to the famous actress. Then she goes on crying. The honest young woman begins to cry, saying that very smart women can brainwash the men like her husband. Okay, because she believes that the actresses like to have the tricks. They redden their lips, they darken their eyelashes, brighten their face, color their hair, and definitely they read out the beautiful verses written by the playwrights and poets. And so many common men like her husband could be easily fooled by their art of acting. They might think that these like women actresses might be very intelligent, but in the opinion of the honest young woman, they are not that intelligent. Saying like this, she passes on a kind of blame to the theater actresses for manipulating themselves or maybe brainwashing the gentlemen who were get around them in their work. This is how she goes on crying. Upon hearing this all, the famous actress begins to laugh. Now she is not angry, but she begins to laugh. In fact, she begins to laugh at the honest young woman's simplicity. She says that she's a naive woman, she's a simple woman, and she doesn't know what is really going on here. She tells the honest young woman that, in fact, her husband is playing a comedy, right? He's playing a prank on her. It's simply a prank that her husband is playing, and he's doing this thing, according to her, to win back her love for him. Okay, so she goes on clarifying that many professionals like the theater directors, lawyers, managers play such a prank to win back the love from their wives by making them feel jealous, right? By acting out a fake relationship with the actresses. They want to, let's say, make their wives feel jealous, and so that their wives begin to take really good care of themselves, right? And they begin to beautify themselves. They pay extra attention to their beauty and youth, and they also begin to give more care to their husband. So that's why, according to the famous actress, the honest young woman's husband, Alfred, the lawyer, is simply doing the same. He is playing a prank to make his wife feel jealous. So that's what she goes and signs. And she adds that she has neither received any letter nor any flowers from her husband. Therefore, so it is simply a prank she goes and signs. Hearing this all, she goes saying that her husband is lying to her and he's a smart man, according to the famous actress, and smart men could not be so forgetful, leaving the love letter in the coat pocket. They could not be so absent-minded or forgetful or negligent, right? So she says like this, and it is just, according to her, is his intention to make her feel jealous. The famous actress comforts her. She tells her to get back to her home, okay, do full makeup, take care of the beauty and sense of dress so that her husband would begin to take an interest in her. Okay, she gives this like suggestions to the honest young woman. Hearing this all, the honest young woman asks a few questions for confirmation whether she has done the same thing for many other people like her husband or not. And the famous actress, she says that yes, of course, she has been doing this thing quite regularly for many of men like her husband, but only the thing in case of her husband is that he did not ask her for permission to play this kind of prank onto his wife. The famous actress convinces the honest young woman, and the honest young woman even requests the famous actress not to tell her husband about the argument they have just had. Yes, then you can guess. She leaves the alright drawing room of the famous actress cheerfully singing a song. And after she is away, the famous actress calls out Alfred, means the man, the lawyer, comes out of her room. Okay, he is hiding in her room throughout the time when the two ladies are having this kind of argument. We see that the honest young woman is being cheated by her husband, like she is fooled by her husband as well as by the famous actress. The other things that we got to see, we see in this play. Okay, there are some beautiful questions, right? I believe I clarified the plot of this play. Okay, this play is mainly about honesty versus deception. Here I want to pick up on beautiful question, right? Sketch the character of the famous actress. You can see that is the main question. The famous actress has been introduced in the play as one of the major characters. She is an exceptionally beautiful lady. She wears expensive and fashionable dresses to befit her beauty and profession. She colors her hair, brightens her face, reddens her lips, and darkens her eyelashes. She is likely to entice a young man by her appearance, so she seems to be living a fake life. Okay? The famous actress has also learned to treat people according to their mood and temperament. Right? When the honest young woman comes to her apartment in an angry mood, she calms her down with her witty and tactful remarks. So she is a very cunning and tactful lady. The famous actress is also very manipulative. She can change the unfavorable evidence to supportive ones. Therefore, we can consider the famous actress as a very confident lady. The honest young woman's husband is inside her cabin, but she doesn't feel nervous. She argues with the honest young woman and makes her believe in her fake story. However, the famous actress is a hypocritical woman. She says one thing and does just the opposite. She has double standards in her life, right? She doesn't feel a pinch of guilt and hesitation to have an illicit relationship with a married man. So she stands for deception and immorality. She is a famous actress, but she is a hypocritical lady, right? That's what we can say in totality. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful time ahead.